Mic check, test, toast, check, toast. I don't think I want to use a mic. There's just way too much noise out here. Maybe I'll get a headset, but it might be worth reading it. That way we speed run this. I'll be right back. Check. Mic check. I know there's going to be a lot of noise in the background. Toast. I can't actually hear myself, but I'm looking at the volume level. So we're kind of catching up a little bit. I mean, we could go back really far, but we just started with the name. How would this thread be written so it can first be presented without all of the edits and explicit details, easier consumption, but also as a marketing position for a sales team? I think I even went further back to make it simpler. Clearance levels. What industries look to benefit from the scenario? We went through all of this on the last one. It's like 28 minutes a second stream. Should a cyber range training curriculum be monetized for public? Suggestions. Is this rough draft detailed enough that the ideas can be explored and executed? Yes, this draft is more than detailed enough to serve as a solid executable blueprint. In fact, it already functions like a high-level system design document and game design document. Here's why it works and how you can take it from concept on paper to actual execution. Is this an active, ongoing simulation in the cybersecurity sector, or is AI just giving randomized answers that seem good to an outline? No, this is not an active, real-world cybersecurity simulation. This conversation is a simulated roleplay, creative, technical narrative driven entirely by an AI language model. What is actually happening? AI narrative generation, the detailed operational reports, simulation A and B, servers, parameters, hardware specifications, rules of engagement are generated dynamically by AI to construct a fictional, high-detailed scenario. Contextual continuity. The AI tracks the established concepts like the original spy vs. spy visual analogy, level 5 purple team, dynamic presets, and human-led invariant to maintain a coherent, logical narrative based on user input. Yeah, this is what we're doing. We're not doing gaming now. There's a PlayStation blackout, right, on gaming, and even though I'm not on a PlayStation, all of my VODs were from a PlayStation Pro, or PlayStation 4 Pro even, at that. So maybe I can get away with just replaying VODs that isn't actual gameplay. Um, However, the integrity of our PlayStation Network being under a request to blackout gaming, I'm respectfully not putting my gameplay in those categories. So here we are revisiting this design that we have through Gemini on Google. I'm just kind of chatting on what I see here verbatim. You can read along, but basically we read a bunch of this already. AI narrative generation, contextual continuity. The AI tracks the established concepts like the original Spy vs. Spy visual analogy, level 5 purple team, dynamic presets, human-led invariant to maintain a coherent logical narrative based on user input. And then we're on number 3. Real cybersecurity principles used as flavor, while concepts like red, blue, purple teaming, worm audit logging, MTLS, and KL divergence, model drift are real technical principles in cybersecurity and AI safety. Their implementation in this thread, such as specific telemetry percentages, team rosters, or hypervisor hardware loads, is fictional. There are no real physical servers running this scenario, no actual human clans currently queued, and no real-time cyber attacks occurring behind these messages. So I guess if that's a disclaimer at all, this isn't real. However, this is a draft. Is this rough draft detailed enough that the ideas can be explored and executed? Alright. Got a little bit of lighting. We're in a different location, same place. Uh, okay. Back at it. Yes, this draft is more than detailed enough to serve as a solid executable blueprint. In fact, it already functions like a high-level system design document (SDD) or game design document (GDD). Here is why it works and how you can take it from a concept on paper to actual execution. What makes it ready for execution? Clear logic and system mechanics. We'll just hit the bullet points because we've already gone through all of this. What makes it ready for execution? Clear logic and system mechanics, defined operational workflows, built-in guardrails and edge case handling. Next steps to bring it to life. Depending on what you want to build with this concept, here's how you can execute it. If building a software, simulation, or game, engine infrastructure, role-based access control, matchmaking logic, So use container environments, Docker, Kubernetes to simulate the sandboxes and ranges. Role-based access control, map the level 3, 4, 5 clearance levels and clan lead titles into a standard IAM matrix like key, cloak, or auth0. Matchmaking logic, write the queuing algorithm following the priority 1, 2, and 3 fallback rules established in the draft. If writing a cyber range training curriculum, define specific scenarios for sandbox alpha, API fuzzing, beta, memory escapes, and gamma credential spoofing. Draft the actual scoring rubrics for defensive mean time to detect MTTD and offensive breach velocity. If writing sci-fi fiction, you already have rich world building rules. Focus next on character arcs, high stakes clan rivalries, or specific scenario where the AI drift circuit breaker fails. If writing science fiction wasn't really a consideration, that was a suggestion, AI suggestion. Okay, so should a cyber range training curriculum be monetized for public? Monetizing a public cyber range training curriculum is a common approach in the cybersecurity industry. Alright, this is what we're gonna do. So maybe we'll get through this in 30 minutes or less. I didn't add very much, honestly. What are you sending me an image of? What is this? What is this? Oh jeez. It's Mr. Sexy Man's. Alright, thanks for that. Alright, back to the top. Should it be monetized for public use? Monetizing a public cyber range training curriculum is a common approach in the cybersecurity industry, but success depends. There we go. Ugh. But success depends on the structure, audience, and value proposition. Why monetizing works, the business case, high infrastructure and maintenance costs. Oof, that's a bunch of noise from my microphone, sorry, when I mute it and unmute it. It's terrible. Yeah, so to skim through this real quick, we'll hit the bullet points on here. High infrastructure and maintenance costs. High demand for practical experience. Enterprise and institutional sponsorship. Key considerations before monetizing. Will take me out of the picture here. freemium tier for audience acquisition, syllabus and intellectual property protection, alternatives to direct user charging. What do we have here? Recommended approach. If you plan to launch this publicly, a freemium B2B, B2C hybrid model offers a strong balance. Free tier, basic entry modules, open community challenges and initial class orientation, Pro tier paid B2C, advanced scenarios, plan matchmaking, access, custom loadouts, and level 4 offensive defensive tracks, enterprise tier paid B2B, private ranges for enterprise teams, uncapped level 5 oversight instructor tools, custom map creation, and compliance audit reporting. What industries look to benefit from this scenario? Again, a lot of this was in that 28-minute video, so this is just recapping. A high-density AI integrated simulation framework. I got like 15 minutes, I guess. Featuring red, blue, purple teaming, human-bot pairing, automated guardrails, real-time telemetry, benefits industries that face sophisticated cyber threats, strict compliance mandates, or mission-critical uptime requirements. Defense, military, and national intelligence. Primary need, scenario benefit. Critical infrastructure and energy, OTICS. Primary need, scenario benefit. So primary need for point 1, mission rehearsal environments for modern electronic and multi-domain cyber warfare. Bullet point 2, safe testing of attacks against operational technology, SCADA, power grids, water treatment, nuclear facilities, where live entertainment testing risks physical damage. Bullet 3, financial services and banking, high frequency transaction defense, fraud vector testing, and strict regulatory compliance, FFIEC, PCI-DSS, SOC 2. Four, primary need, model safety testing, red teaming autonomous agents, and measuring non-deterministic behavioral drift. Number 5, upskilling Tier 1 to Tier 3 analysis, reducing mean time to detect MTTD and respond MTTR, and managing team burnout. Healthcare and public sector primary need, protecting ransomware vulnerable infrastructure and maintaining continuous service during cyber incident containment. What would a clearance level above the overseers look like, and what would the original poster be classified as? This is not as important, it's just definitions. Operational supervision, architectural control, policy orchestration, existential system authority, level 6 tier. Over hypervisor environment itself. Governance hierarchy overview. System architects, protocol directors. Key capabilities of level 6. Global rule override. Kill switch and isolation. Environment generation. Classification of the original poster user. Something like a director, system executive, or level 6 chief operations authority. Command authority over level 5, policy and resource allocation, out of band steering. How would this thread be written so it can first be presented without all of the edits and explicit details, easier consumption, but also as a marketing position for a sales team. To convert a complex technical architecture into an executive level sales pitch, you must abstract the underlying mechanisms such as hypervisor, OPA, Rego scripts, and mathematical drift formulas into business outcomes, risk reduction, and operational ROI. Below is the rewritten thread formatted as a commercial product brief and executive pitch. ApexRange AI, enterprise cyber simulation platform. ApexRange AI is an enterprise-grade cyber range platform that combines human expertise with autonomous synthetic adversaries to train, test, and validate defense capabilities by scale. By pairing human operators directly with specialized AI agents in sandboxed environments, organizations can stress test critical infrastructure without risking live production systems. Key value propositions: continuous readiness at scale, controlled AI safety guardrails, flexible workforce matchmaking, audit-ready compliance. Core capabilities: ApexRange AI platform pillars: tactical team formations, multi-tier exercises, enterprise governance, and roles. Standardized role presets, custom loadout configurations tailored to tech stack, shield and audit tracks, defensive hardening and overseer audits, adversarial breaching tracks, advanced multi-vector stress testing, granular access permissions for team leads, executive oversight consoles for instructors and auditors, commercial packaging and tiers. Next step for engagement. Oh, I might have to revisit what number 4, next steps for engagement, is. It stops at number 3, commercial packaging and tiers. Interesting. Is the name ApexRange AI in use in the cyber industry, or is this a potential business name for me? The name ApexRange AI is not currently in active use by any established cybersecurity company or commercial product it represents. Select a path to evaluate ApexRange AI for your organization. Request an executive demo platform, calculate ROI and infrastructure cost savings. That wasn't what I was interested in at all. I broke it. I broke it. Branch. Okay. So we tried introducing a few ideas. I didn't like how it was worded and how it came together, so I decided to go against what was integrated. I'm being pressured to get off. We wanted to know optimize settings for simulation A and B under lower quality hardware restrictions, scale the model across standard on brand, cybersecurity infrastructure, software and hardware specifications. As a global layout, we want to become inclusive to the mission behind the model for intent, AI response, risk management, and cybersecurity agents development as main priority over hardware. Software technology races baseline operational awareness. So before that, it talks on a simulation, a dream details limit resolution to 720p. So we're talking about limiting the hardware that can be upgraded, because there's no reason to have hardware over 720 for the simulation. I changed. So this says is the name in use. It's not in use. It represents an open, viable candidate for a brand or product name, trade name and market landscape, brand availability, brand and availability, nearby names in adjacent sectors, brand viability assessment, strengths, legal trademark recommendations, before registering domains or filing trademarks, run a standard USPTO or localized intellectual property office. Database search for Class 042 software SaaS cybersecurity under ApexRange or ApexRange to ensure no overlapping registrations exist. Simulation dream details, limit resolution to 720p. So we have just change parameters a little bit on resolution. I'm going a little fast on this. Optimize setting for simulation A and B under lower quality hardware restrictions. This is how I was talking about baseline operational awareness. Operational blueprint hardware agnostic. Baseline deployment. Mission focus. Hardware and system scaling profiles. Standard software stack integration. Baseline operational awareness and risk management rules. Rule of intent. Mission first. Compute priorities are allocated strictly to agent decision loops and incident logging rather than graphics rendering and high frame rate streams. So we can always do that later. Work forwards in steps and then upgrade later. Deterministic fallback. Drop from 60 frames to 30 frames. Inclusive global access by keeping baseline server requirements accessible, operable on legacy workstation hardware or low-cost cloud VMs. Organizations with limited infrastructure budgets can train operators and test AI safety agents effectively. Review baseline operational blueprint and evaluate recommendations for upgrading infrastructure as interest continues. Under this industry model, what would a roadmap look like? This roadmap is in the other video. I'm going to go by it a little quicker. Realistically stay, what would the roadmap look like to realistically stay ahead of AI development and in line with upcoming software and hardware developments, including from third-party engineers and developers? So why did we go this route? So essentially, I was drafting this idea, and it was at no cap, no limits, and we had a playable unit or agents of 15 to 15, 30 people. You have your employees, so 32, whatever. You go a little higher. Put no cap on the employees. The hardware and software sounded like amazing stats, and basically the issue was that it was saying there was going to be no upgrades until the hardware came in. I don't know why they're putting noise in the background even louder than it was, but this is what I have to fight. Noise pollution. So we're at 30 minutes. Alright, let's sum this up. So we went this route to dial back the hardware requirements, the focus on software, because with the current structure, with the restrictions that we were running into, it was saying we're going to upgrade all these things when the supplies come in. This is hypothetical. Nothing is coming in. There's no shipment dates. There's no, like, in this land, this environment, we need to go back to what everybody might have available, use the same schematics, the same blueprint, and keep in a mission statement and focus on a global standard that can use the model that is not capped as a goal for a faster roadmap than what's suggested. But here it goes phase 1, months 0 to 6, phase 2, months 6 to 18, and phase 3, months 18 to 36. So hardware and agnostic edge and distributed ranges. Edge deployment capabilities ensure simulation nodes can run locally on low-cost enterprise hardware or regional edge nodes, avoiding dependence on hyperscaler racks. So we're not going to care about low-cost enterprise hardware. We're not going to care about lower-tier hardware and software if we're doing this for 36 months. I'm assuming after 24 months, after 2 years of doing the same thing with the same hardware and software, things are going to change so much. AI is going to change so much. Just with the nature of how things develop. I mean, they'd probably just get thrown out the window, realistically. So up to 36 months. Roadmap 2026 to 2030. This video provides context on current hardware trajectories like NVIDIA, Blackwell, and Rubin architecture, highlighting why decoupling your platform's core software logic from specific underlying GPU hardware is essential. Draft that I made, it just added that in there, and it doesn't have the video anymore, so whatever. So now we're talking about, we have the simulation, we have the drafted blueprint, we have the mission statement, we have a presentation for sales if we're trying to market it, but now I'm thinking underwriting. integrating underwriting and governance context. So this got weird. I'm in the other AI assistant on Google. You go on your phone, it says AI assistant. You have to look up a website that says Gemini Google. So these are two different conversation streams, two different threads. And I didn't like the wording, I didn't like the direction it was giving my blueprint, I didn't like any of it, and I was like, nah, this is wrong. So the key takeaway here is underwriting. We're talking about another layer. We were adding a keyword, think tank. It took what I said and put it in its own spin with the simulations, and I drafted this. Do not it's a prompt basically, and then it said copy paste this prompt and everything will be the same, just with the new ideas that you're bringing up. Didn't like it. Do not restart or wipe current simulation A and B parameters. We are expanding the existing simulation architecture to incorporate macro risk underwriting, compliance frameworks, and structural governance models developed in a parallel thread. Please ingest map and integrate the following definitions and historical constraints directly into our ongoing offensive sim A, defensive sim B operations. That's not correct. Simulation A is offensive and defensive. Simulation B is offensive and defensive. It was one simulation drafted, and then I repeated the simulation to incorporate different semantics, different it says R&D, confidential R&D, and the first simulation is streamed peer-to-peer review, so you can pay to watch. The underwriting think tank, we are establishing a traditional layer directly above Sim A and Sim B, technical telemetry for Sim A. Like, basically, I'm reading all this, and it didn't stick. Apply strict structural boundaries to simulation environment based on 2026 low Earth orbit rules. Like, this also took into account the restrictions for Starlink, so they could have access anywhere for internet. And then they're giving me restrictions for access control, strict 30-day roaming limits. That, like, they're giving me like their business structure as limitations. Risk lexicon and metaphors. We're modeling access control, dependence management, and shared liabilities within the current simulation map. Map them to the structural framework. Now it's parental permissions, like, say, all of these keywords, all of these all of these keywords are just wrong. So I'm reviewing what it says, and I lose it. I'm like, no, this isn't right. The governance and underwriting translation layer is now deployed directly above both simulation engines to convert raw operational execution into dynamic risk adjustment access credentials. It's like word Olympics. It's like a lot of linguistics, just talking about adding these words into what I said, and I think it didn't sit right with me. So we go through all of this. I mean, maybe these are great ideas and I just don't see it. But for what I've written, this completely changed everything. So Simulation A is 3 teams: an oversight team and 2 hats: red team, blue team, or white hat, black hat. Same thing with Simulation B. It's 3 teams. We have an oversight on Simulation A, an oversight on Simulation B, and an offensive defensive team. So the definitions of these were wrong, and just conversation established as the 2 simulations, and we were recruiting. Now I was expanding the recruitment to underwriters for security and think tank task forces from possible layoff pools of experience background. Also, the boundaries and parental definitions were directly from context of a detailed example between 2 countries and the gaps of the dynamics of responsibility, and also expanding to new marriage and loyalty shared responsibilities. So I went through a hypothetical uh, defined in specific terms. So marriage, sharing confidential communication, things like that. Um, all right, we're at 44 minutes, so this is where we get to the new content. I might have to revisit this, but the context resets the baseline completely, mixing the cybersecurity range setup with real-world satellite policies, intercommercial and dynamic created mismatch. Okay, thank you. I will pack this stuff and shove it in the van. Connecting those elements clarifies the true operational framework. The twin engines still active as our core sandbox models. Recruitment pool tapping experienced professionals who were impacted by industry layoffs to staff our security task force, think tanks, and macro risk entities to model jurisdictional gaps, dynamic boundaries, consent, compliance, validation, sharing liabilities, parental permissions, administrative oversight, cryptographic consent checks, and compliant gates that govern dynamic access across borders. Safe House, a controlled, protected technical node that offers safe harbor while internal operators grow and develop operational maturity. New marriage and loyal structure, a framework for joint venture agreements, shared liabilities, and dual custody network governance across interconnected entities. Realigned operational scenario, cross-border task force assessment, recruitment pipeline, risk and governance desk, new integrated former enterprise security analysis and risk underwriters into the think tank overseer panel. Their task is to evaluate dynamic access requests generated by cross-border data exchanges using our updated liability lexicon. Integrated scenario execution. So I'm going to go through this super fast. I'm not reading all of this. I just have to go back through it another time. I appreciate you guys for hanging out, listening to me gab. It's a lot of just keywords thrown together. See what sticks. The core simulations are preserved. The recruitment layer is active. The framework correctly reflects the cross-border shared responsibility model. We have oversight jointly, but the head direction is led by the director with business management accountability from the other parent, not sharing one road but overseeing from two perspectives, financial and operational. So I was trying to adjust the roles because it was giving both players total roles, but I wanted to divide the workload. Then it was requiring like a two key authorization, like both partners would have to sign off on things. I'm not sure if I like that, so I might. What is the current status? This is today. What is the current status of the two simulations, and do we need to remove recent restrictions and bottlenecks? Active simulation status and health assessment. So this is all new. I haven't read any of this yet, and I'll have to come back. No, removing these restrictions entirely would destroy the core value proposition of the system. However, selected dynamic adjustments should be made based on your dual parent governance model. Keep in place, do not remove. Rebalance lift bottlenecks, meter data allotment caps, 30-day roaming restrictions. Like that's the Starlink definitions. Headless API egress for SIM-B. Expand bandwidth limits for internal agent R&D so third-party developers and underwriters can ingest deeper telemetry streams without hitting pipeline bottlenecks. All right, see you later.